guys, that's your Comanche today in Raid Shadow Legends. Welcome to the video, guys. Hopefully it finds you all doing well. Send some love, some positive vibes your way, especially if you need them today. Today we're talking about live arena, but first, how was your weekends? Hopefully pretty good. Mine was really good. What did we do? I'm trying to teach my son how to ride a bike without training wheels, man. And I don't know if I'm an awful teacher or maybe he's not the best learner. He's a really bright kid, but I don't know what I'm doing wrong, man. He's 5 years old. So working on the no training wheels. I think just practice makes perfect. I think I'm just going to keep doing it more often with him. And then continuing on a retro gaming saga, me and him, you know how those old school video games, especially like the RPG genre or action adventure genre, came with like world maps? So we picked out a bunch of those old world maps that I found in my old like Super Nintendo game boxes or whatever. And we bought this massive kind of sketch pad and we remade the maps and it was just fun. It takes me back to like when I was a kid, really enjoying the simple things, I guess, in life, right? Just like enjoying creating something, you know, which is why I enjoy YouTube, I think. Anyway, guys, let's go into the negativity that I woke up to today. Actually, let's start with a couple of small positive things. Number one is the pros and the cons of this menu. Woo! Number one is, wow, really, really cool that they made this menu, right? It's nice to have all these keys in one area. And number two is, holy crud. Imagine being a brand new player and clicking on this and being like, oh my God, I think I'll uninstall the game now. Like, there's so much, right? There's so much here. Classic Arena, Tag Team, Live Arena, Fortress, Crypt Keys, Demon Keys, Hydra Keys, Gold Keys, Silver Keys. What? Yeah, that's a lot of stuff, man. That is a lot of stuff. At least it takes you right to the area. So I guess glass half empty, you could say this is overwhelming and confusing, especially to new players, and it shows you how much they have that takes your time in this game. On the glass half full, you could say, well, at least you don't forget stuff anymore. Oh, Hydra Keys, I have a day and a half left. Okay, let's get to it, Ash. You got 2 to go. So I guess for experienced players, such as yours truly, I really like this. I really like this. The other little tiny quality of life thing that they did is they added a way for us to tag these champions now, not skins, but over here, as an arena champion. That way, when you're trying to draft champions in the live arena, it's so much easier just to basically tag all of your most used arena champions and have it filtered that way instead of trying to dig out a certain champion. So I found that really, really beneficial as well. Now let's get into, well, all the bad. Number one is you probably, if you're watching this video, I want to say the majority of players out there didn't even have beta access to this feature today. We just finished up the first time period of Live Arena. They invited a certain limited amount of players based on how active you are in the arena, which is weird because my free-to-play account, which I feel like I'm a little bit more active lately in the arena, was not invited, but my dirty pay-to-win was invited. So I experienced it. I won some battles. I lost a couple battles as well. I have to say that I enjoyed Live Arena, but with a few caveats. Number one is, let's talk about the format. I really want to hear from you guys in the comments too. Let's talk about the format. It's pick one champion, pick two champions, pick two champions, pick one champion, and then you ban. Now, I watched a few other YouTubers' videos and streams this morning, and it seems like I'm the only person, I want to say, in the community. This is, by the way, not going to be a very popular video for yours truly. I'm expecting a lot of dislikes on this one, because I think I'm in the minority on a lot of these opinions, even though I have my gripes as well. But I actually like the format still. Kind of TBD, because I want to see, you know, how it plays out. Does it wear on me, blah, 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 in terms of just the picking format, right? Picking and then banning and then seeing who they ban, and that's it, right? A lot of people, it seems like, wants to have the banning process somewhere in the middle. That way you can react with the final picks to the ban. That sounds good, but I think in practicality, I'm not sure if I'd like it more or less, but I think it's worth testing out. How do you guys feel about the actual format? Some people also, I think that Hades was mentioning, he wants to go 3 champions, ban 2 champions, 2 champions. I think that could be interesting, but at the same time, like, I don't hate this format either. The old schoolyard snake draft pick 'em. I'm a fantasy sports player back in my day, so I'm used to that format and I kind of like it. Anyway, I did notice this. So you get the 20 fragments of Quintus the Triumphant. Looks like a beast, a champion. He's a beast champion, but he's really a PvP champion. So that's the good news is. The good news is like, unless you're super interested in the arena anyway, he's not going to help you out a ton in PvE content. The bad news is you got to get all the way down here to milestone 10, 4,000 trophies to get your hands on him. And it's not like making progress in the old school arena, right? Where you can just basically snipe people with easy teams. Every team is going to be a grind, right, to get those milestone rewards. I have 955 points right now. I'm in bronze 2. Obviously, the tiers, you guys can see, we need to get all the way to 4,000, essentially, to get that last tier, so to gold 3. That basically means it's going to take a long time for non-big spenders to get that champion. So that's a downside already, number 1, right? I want to talk about probably the biggest complaint. I saw this, guys. Real-Time Arena just went live. I want to go ahead and react to this Reddit post because there's a lot of people very unhappy right now. Some of these pain points I want to help alleviate, maybe give you something to think about, and other ones I will agree with. So I'm a little bit too small here. Let's go. There we go. That's just right. So I'm a level 65 player. I have just over 1 million power, says Origin91. My first 2 matches were against level 100s with Meta Legendary, Stone Skin, and all that jazz. I didn't even get a turn. Please don't let this game mode launch dead on arrival because your matchmaking sucks! All right, so I can get the frustration. I said this in my previous videos as well. We had a collab with Scratch talking about this feature, and I said towards the end of the video, guys, just a heads up, there's going to be a lot of crappy matchmaking on day 1, week 1, month 1 of this. Don't let it frustrate you so much because this is not going to be an accurate representation of what matchmaking actually looks like when the dust settles, when the player base separates. But obviously not everybody watches CWA. He watches Ash videos here on YouTube. Listen, I get the frustration. Out of my matches, my very first match was against somebody who they were level 100, like I am, but they're champions. They played like 3 epics. They played like 3 mediocre non-meta epics, you know? So I felt bad. You know, they quit the battle right away, and that sucked. And that's going to happen on day 1. And it's going to happen for a few reasons. So let me talk about anybody who had access to the beta, who's frustrated and wants to quit right now, because there's a lot of them based on Reddit. Listen, guys, the matchmaking very well may suck. I want to say that. We don't know that yet, though. We don't know. The matchmaking is based on 2 things. It takes into your account power into consideration, and it takes, and this is a big one, it takes your win-loss record, your record, into consideration. Right now, everybody starts with 100% win rate, essentially, right? So everybody's in the same player pool. Furthermore, we're all sitting in bronze together. Everybody. So, of course, some of your early matchups are going to be absolutely awful, because you're matched against everybody, right? You could get an absolute whale matchup as a free-to-play player because we're all in the same league together. Picture if you were just thrown into platinum with every other player. Some matchups will be easy, some matchups will suck until those players have time to, you know, separate themselves. Obviously, the high-end players will gradually move up in the arena and so on and so forth, okay? So in terms of matchmaking only, hopefully you guys can chill a little bit if you're somebody out there who's really frustrated about the matchmaking only. But then there's another problem. Was fun at first, but looking at it long term is going to be a pain. Every match took me 7 to 10 minutes. Win or lose, that's 35 minutes to an hour a day before the refill. Anyone with a job isn't going to be able to hit all the times. Well, that's for damn sure, man. I'm not going to be able to hit all the times. That's for sure, man. I have a day job. I have a son. I have a family. I have a life other than Raid Shadow Legends, even though I cover it here on YouTube. And yeah, man, it's not what I want to do. I'm not going to set an alarm. Certainly, I'm not going to be waking up overnight to play during all those weird times. I will say that the times right now that they have on the beta testing this week, they're subject to change. They're going to change when the actual feature goes live. So, but this is a big issue. Like, all the time, going back to this menu again, right? All the time that it takes to do all this stuff. I think that, listen, man, I've said this before, so I'm going to make my point very short. Half of this stuff, it should just be, once you do one thing, once you 3-star a boss or whatever, you can just do it instantly, Plarium. I mean, come on now. Do we need to watch the same team beat the same Doom Tower boss 4 or 5 times every day to farm up forge material? No one actually looks at their device, their screen. Nobody enjoys watching the same thing happen on autoplay in the background for 30 minutes, having their phone basically not being able to see text or news or anything like that because we have Raid doing the same thing in a row 100 times a day. Do we need that? Yes, I know your investors are like, wow, the playtime on this game is amazing. So I think that's what it all comes down to. I really do. Otherwise, give us our time back. You gave us super rates. It's time now with live arena. To me, it is time, Plarium. It is time, especially for new players. They need a catch-up mechanic for new players. It's weird to advocate for new players because I know that 99% of people who watch this channel are not new players, but I'm going to do it anyway. New players, I can only imagine how overwhelming this game is in the beginning. They need some sort of a catch-up mechanic, right? There needs to be an easy way to get stuff done without feeling like I'm going to have to pay $20,000 or take 20,000 hours out of my life to catch up to most of the other players that have been playing for a couple years, you know? And they've added so much since then. They need a better catch-up mechanic, and they need a way, again, guys, they don't need to rework the entire game or do anything crazy. If I beat something one time, I beat the Magma Dragon one time this rotation, after that, do I need to watch the Magma Dragon again on auto? No. I don't need to watch the Griffin or the Magma Dragon. Who am I even fighting here? I'm spacing Magma Dragon. I don't need to watch the Magma Dragon 8 times in a row, right? I don't need to watch it. I've already beat him. I already saw it. I already did it. Now let me just instant click and get the rewards. You know? Make people do it once per season, per rotation, and then they can just instantly use the key. That would take a lot of time of stuff that people aren't even enjoying your game, Plarium. You know? They're not even enjoying the game. It's on the background. Come on. That's not necessary. If you want to add new features that take up a lot of time, cool. You just got to make up that time from other stuff, right? Because no one's full-time job that I know of, maybe some Saudi oil prince or something, you know? But most of us, it's not our full-time job to just play Raid, you know? All right. So that's number 2, the time issue. This one says, it's already dead in the water. In a game like this, it usually takes a ton of time to do everything. They need to add more time to the game. Not good. Let's see. Wait for a few days before playing. All the level 100s and meta champs will gravitate towards the top. Matchmaking doesn't take into account your account power. Now, my understanding is it does take account power and your record, but either way, the point is well made, right? It matches you with opponents with the same score you have right now, so everybody's at the bottom, right? And someone needs to sticky this post, and I agree, right? Because, gosh, man, come on. If you're complaining about matchmaking, you just got to realize it might suck, but we don't know yet. You got to give it time. Everybody's the same, right? So it's a beta feature. I mean, this guy makes good points as well, right? Let's see. Only available to some? Yes. Unfortunately, it's only available to a small group of active players right now. Again, people who play Classic Arena a lot, I guess, whatever that means. It won't die because of matchmaking. It will win. It'll win because Krakens will spend money on it. While most normal players who can't take another 30 minutes a day to play, specific intervals to play this game for minimal free-to-play rewards just won't participate and Plarium won't care. So, I mean, how is that different than any other game mode ever added to the game, right? Anything added to this game, I guess maybe Faction Wars would be different. It's like you could spend money to progress further, right? The cool thing is about this game mode is there's a pro and a con, right? The pro is by playing Live Arena, even if we're losing a lot of matches, even if you don't care about Live Arena, by grinding through Live Arena, you'll get area bonuses that will help you out everywhere in the game, whether you win a lot, whether you lose a lot, as long as you're playing, right? Now, obviously, that's a gift and a curse. It's a double-edged sword, right? Because if you don't like it, then why you feel like you're forced to play it to get those advantages. But at the same time, even if you're a pay-to-win or a free-to-play player, eventually when the dust settles in terms of matchmaking, you're going to be better off than you were before in PvE just by playing it. And if you don't want to play it, right, you're not going to be any worse off than you were in terms of enjoying PvE in the game, right? So that's just a fact. But, you know, some people don't like to hear it. So I'm just not playing it. It goes against the core premise of the game functions on auto battles. We just talked about how we want to get rid of some of those auto battles. I don't play this much manual in RPG. I feel like I'm playing Dota or COD. I play it for the hero team building, working through the content, and optimizing your teams. So again, I would play devil's advocate in here and say, well, you could still do all that stuff, right? Optimize teams, work through content, team building, hero building, and either not play it, kind of like Weak Sauce says, right? That's his whole point. Or you can play it casually and get little benefits as you go, you know? I quit Battle Royale because it required me to be super focused on my phone for even a little bit of 30 minutes a day, and that's not what I want or why I play this game. So he wants to play, he likes the mindless content, so to speak. So does Interesting Law 3288. They just like the game in the background, which is interesting. How do you guys feel about that? I do both, but I like actually playing this game too. Maybe I'm the minority there. This guy, oh man, everyone starts with 0 elo. Take a couple days to balance everything out. Level shouldn't mean much in raids, so you can't balance around that. True. They did do something about skill selection delays. Yeah, it does take a while, man. It's a server authenticated. There are ways of hiding or obfuscating it, though. Yeah, man, it takes a while. It takes longer than I expected, right? How about your nipples? I hate it. On God, if they add this to the daily chore pool, I'm done. This game mode is trash. It's a pain over pain, 5 matches, and I already have PTSD from this garbage. Chores, are you sure you like this game? Says the one Kane. Honestly, dude, if it's getting you this bothered, Mr. Nipples, maybe it's not the game for you, man. If it's giving you, obviously he's being hyperbolic, but like so much pain, so much aggravation, and I get it. Trust me. But at the same time, man, it's just like, dude, for your own mental sanity, if you're really this upset about it, maybe it's not the game for you, man. I absolutely hate it. It's disgusting that I have to play this game mode to get PvP stats. I think it means PvE stats. I don't have the time and resources to invest in all these champs to be relevant in it. I played 10 games and I lost 8. I won't touch the same thing again during my beta selection. Thanks to everyone who puts in one-man defenses in normal arena, LOL. Again, I can totally understand the frustration. I'm not trying to discount anybody's opinions here, and I get that he doesn't want to touch it again during beta, and I absolutely agree, right? But I just wouldn't read this much into matchmaking this early on. Let's see. That's because everyone has the same rating. Again, people kind of reiterating that. Level 91 here for reference says D Diablo Lico, Classic Arena, Gold 5 before reset. I used the daily 10 tokens in Live Arena, 5 wins, 5 losses. The wins were hard fought. 1 loss would have been preventable. The other 4, though, holy hell. Metagear everywhere. Bolster, SS Nukers, 8 out of 10 opponents had Baron in their team. My guess is that everyone will start out at the same time. The better players will fill the top spots, depending on how the tiers were decently designed size-wise. We'll see how it evolves. I predict it will be even harder game mode than Tag Team Arena. The plus side, it isn't that time-consuming 15-second turn limit and overall time. Match is, in my case, split between 50-50 between preparation and the fight itself. Currently, there are 12 tiers. So interesting, this guy says he didn't mind the time. That's interesting. And they're showing like pictures of their unfair first matches. Everyone's in the same place right now. Let's see. I just realized how many keys and tokens we have. Definitely not confusing for new players. I agree with that. Quint is only for top live arena players. Gives you something to work towards. Not getting him doesn't lock you out or block you from content, so I think it's good. If you don't enjoy PvP and just do it for the medals, this champ would rot away in the vaults anyway. Same as how Arbiter was a while back until they fixed her. So people seem, I don't know, man. I don't know. Some people seem irate right now. There was a couple people, if I just keep scrolling down, who are like just quitting straight up already about this. Again, to my amazing viewers, I would caution you guys not to be frustrated about matchmaking, but I would love to hear how you feel about the time factor. Are you with me? Just simply adding a little bit of, instant matches just to help alleviate that time that this new game feature takes. But overall, I want to hear from you guys in a few different areas. Number one is, if you're in the beta, do you like the format, the picking, the schoolyard pick 'em and the bands at the end? If not, what would you like to see? Number 2 is, are you frustrated? Is your clan frustrated? What is your community saying about this? I would love to hear from your clanmates, from you. What are people talking about this in your little, corner of Raid Shadow Legends? And number 3 is, selfishly, would you like to see any of this content on the channel, like me just playing live arena? Or are you already over it? Just stick with the normal content here and save that maybe for live streams in the future or something like that. Guys, can't wait to hear your feedback. Thank you so much for watching till the end. And as always, take care, guys.